What's good, guys? Welcome back to another episode of, trade recap number 2. Let you guys know I didn't actually take this trade because I was on the train to go to the New York Stock Exchange. If you are following me on my Instagram, you would have known that. But if you didn't, I went there today. It was super awesome. Loved it. Learned lots of things. But basically, I saw this huge play out today on the train on the way, and kind of want to share with you guys. So let's hop into the daily real quick. I can share a few notes here that we have. So recently marked out the monthly low with the sell side that he has. I've been seeing I've been seeing people on Twitter post about this potential reversal that happens here. Just to remind you guys, on the 3 months, we are extremely bullish. And I mean extremely bullish, right? So on the daily, it might look like we are fucking bearish as fuck, right? But to me, on the 1 month, it looks bearish, fine. The thing you have to understand though is if it doesn't close behind, like under this low, it's not really like it would be considered a break of structure if it closes behind this, like under this low, which is why I have it marked out on the daily, because if it does break, right, we have potential of going to the downside. But I feel like we have a very strong, we're gonna have a very strong reversal here. I feel like there's gonna be a long wick somewhere here and just bounce back to grab this liquidity up here. Anyways, we have still a 1-day order block here that I still have marked out because it wanted to play back in the zone, and I knew this. I just keep it for a few days just to see what it does. I also marked out a, let me zoom in real quick. Fair value gap. Okay, we have this from this move up, nice little fair value gap. I also marked out the 0.5 in this fair value gap because, as you guys know, I love to target the halfway point of the fair value gap. That's where price wants to go all the time. Unfortunately today, we closed under, but I still had it marked out for the trade. So let's dive into the 1 hour, see what that's looking like. You know what I mean? So I still have all my liquidity order blocks up here, but that doesn't fucking matter because we're down here now. Okay. Okay. So today, just keep in mind, why was this not switch, bro? Keep in mind we have FOMC meeting minutes at 2 p.m., right? This was on Wednesday today. And this was around here, but the whole day before any FOMC meeting or big fucking red folders, big news, right? The market likes to, it doesn't like to move a lot. It doesn't like to have these big move days. It doesn't have to like trends before news, right? Because you don't know what could happen, especially from FOMC, Mr. J Powell, right? Mr. Daddy Maker, a market maker. You don't want to play around with that price action before news. So choppy, and I knew that if today was going to be choppy, it's choppy between two zones, and those two zones are the fair value gap and the order block, right? Fair value gap, order block. That's exactly what happened today. I could show you probably in 30 minutes. Yeah, so we start off, right, boom, 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 choppy from aftermarket, then it opens, boom, 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 choppy, hits this order block up here, which I still had marked out, right? You see how that played in? Still marked out. Comes back down, respects the fair value gap, comes back down, okay, almost to the halfway. This is, the area of confluence, if you will. So it's not always on here, but it's definitely in the area. You know what I mean? I like think of it as, let me turn off my magnet. Think of it as this, ready? Think of it as like this big zone, right? You have the 0.5 of the fair value gap, but around this area you have areas of confluence where price action could reverse, right? Reverse, go through, whatever. That's how I think of it, right? Comes back up, creates sell side liquidity, and this was when I got on the train. Then I saw this huge move up to target the buy side liquidity. Let me pop down to the 5 minutes so you guys can see better. Again, I was on the train for this. Comes up, fair value gap, targets it, taps in, noticed this order block. And the reason, right, I didn't understand why, but there was buy side liquidity up here. And usually the liquidity is the top of the wick. But what I've noticed is now the liquidity is down here, right? So it sweeps the order block, the liquidity, if you will. But to me, liquidity is on the highs and on the lows, right? It's not here, it's on the low of the wick, right? That's how I mark out my liquidity. But you do have to realize that there's two PD arrays aligning perfectly, so it creates that, you know, that big, I wouldn't say confluence, but it creates big momentum towards the other side, right? So we have order block, one PD array, and we have this second big order block, daily order block, that I tapped in once, twice, and now 3 times into this smaller order block targeting liquidity. And I knew damn well that there's never a fourth time this was going to come down, because the second move created, you know, second sell side over here, right? I knew that we were going to come down and want to target not only this one, and this one down here, right? This was where I was going to put my take profits and stuff, right? So when I was on the train, I had it set up like this. So basically like that, right? Boom. So we have 1, 2, that's liquidity, that's liquidity. And I was like, if this price can come down here, and as you saw right here, I'm not gonna lie, when I saw this, I was like, this is working, because it came down. I entered. Well, I didn't actually enter this, you know, this is like a fake play. This is what would have happened. I would have entered here, right in the tap into the order block. It would have came down, and look at this price action, bro. It is respecting this, right? Here it doesn't close under. Here it does, but you know, it wicks up like this. And then obviously I moved this down to where it should be. Obviously this gets swept with this gets swept with absolutely no question, right? Boom, straight down. And I'm like, okay, well, if this closes behind this, not only is it a break of structure, market structure shift, right? As you can probably tell here, boom, it wants to target sell side liquidity down here, which I was right. Also coming down to this 0.5, which I was right. As you can see, price action respects this, doesn't close quite under. Obviously, price action does this and that, bounces back up, right? Takes the fair value gap back down. Don't see it, it's like here. Boom, takes it out. Boom, comes back down. Now this I don't really pay attention to after this, because I'm out of my trade, and I do damn well I wanted to get out before 2 p.m. I like to get out at least 1 hour before news. So if this is at 2 p.m., I like to get out at 1, right? So my position got out at 12. I could have stayed in, but you don't know what happens when you have news, especially coming from Jay Powell coming up. So you'd be expecting a little bit choppiness type market, but I guess we didn't have that today. Before FOMC, if you look at, I think it's the 1 hour, right? Yeah, 1 hour, right? We have this down, come back up, kind of choppy, you know, candle, doesn't really know where it wants to go, and then you have FOMC, and after that, I'm hands-free. I'm not touching my keyboard. I'm not touching the market. I'm just watching that bitch, because then you have 2 hours to process the news of FOMC. I'm not trading that. No one is, right? So it broke under this fair value gap, which is fine, right? Because we're targeting down here. We're targeting this blue line, which is what I want to see. So now we have this closure under, and yeah, that was the I guess the potential trade that could have been taken today, targeting obviously buy side to sell side in a lower time frame, taking out 2 P arrays, 1 day order block, 5-minute order block, with FOMC at 2 p.m. So if you guys have any questions or anything that I should know, please let me know in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next video.